The Champions League semi-final is going to be upon us very, very soon, and we have 4 incredibly great teams in there, and that is why today we have decided to make our best combined 11 from these 4 teams based on this season. But of course, I couldn't do this alone, so I've had to bring back this guy again.
Of course, I'm back on the channel. Don't worry guys, more videos will be coming soon on my channel. They're not going to come.
Yeah, okay,
it's
right.
fine. However, I'm excited. I want to see what you've gone for. Personally, I think we're going to have similar teams. I think it's quite straightforward most of the positions.
I wouldn't be so sure.
There's one line of the pitch that I struggled particularly.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But I do think we'll have quite a lot of agreements, potentially some disagreements.
I don't think that this will be as easy and as straightforward as you say, because these 4 teams, let's recap who they are. We've got Arsenal versus PSG.
Great matchup.
And Barcelona versus Inter. Those are 4 amazing teams. I mean, 3 of them are top of their domestic league, Arsenal obviously being second behind our club Liverpool, but Liverpool are of course out of the Champions League, which is not very good.
A bit embarrassing, but it's fine.
We lost to a very good PSG team, and I'm sure a lot of their players will appear in the combined 11 today. So, you can kick us off with the goalkeeper. Who have you gone with?
This was the position that I just began with, and I'm like, yeah, it's this guy. And it's the Spaniard from Arsenal, David Raya.
I completely agree.
I think that was quite straightforward. You know, been one of the best keepers in the Prem this year, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, he has been competing with, Sells, Alisson, but he's still proven that he's a great keeper. Even now that Gabriel's gone and the backline's weaker, he's still managing to keep up with
the clean sheets.
Shots, the clean sheets.
Arsenal have a great defence, and David Raya is a huge part of that in terms of his cross-claiming. He's one of the best in the world at doing that. He's a good shot stopper, but he's also great with his feet.
Yeah.
And if you compare him to the other options, so we're looking at Szczesny, who has had good games, but I'm not entirely convinced
he's like, his prime's almost ended before it began.
Yeah,
he
retired and he came back, so okay. Jan Sommer, I think he's a very good keeper, and I was considering him. I think he's very, very underrated.
Yeah.
But I did go with right. And Donnarumma, look, I'm not a massive Donnarumma fan.
He's only good for Italy. As an Italian, he's
a good penalty stopper, but I'm not a massive Donnarumma fan. So I had to go with Raya there. I think he's been very, very good for Arsenal this season, and that is the first Arsenal player in this team. Right back. I'll go first for this one.
Why not?
I've gone with Achraf Hakimi.
And
from
once
PSG.
again, we agree.
Yeah.
I have also gone for Achraf Hakimi. I mean, the amount of offside goals this guy has been denied is mind-boggling. Reminds me of Lukaku in the.
Was this an easy one for you?
Yes. I was debating Jules Koundé, but then I realized he's not playing well recently.
I was.
Because we're doing this as a season as a whole.
This is based on this season, right?
If this was only Champions League, then maybe we could have had some more differences.
Yeah.
But as this season as a whole, Achraf Hakimi, already won Liga.
Yeah.
Played great against Liverpool.
Yeah. 6 goals, 12 assists in all competitions this season. For a right back, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Right, up and down the pitch, he's absolutely rapid, right? Defensively, obviously, I think you can definitely say Koundé's a much better defender.
Yeah.
Right, he's a centre-back pushed out to right back, and I really was considering Koundé. I had him in for a large portion of it, but I feel like Hakimi, based off, I haven't been entirely convinced with Hakimi in the past seasons, but this season, he's been imperious at that right back position for PSG, and that is why that is 2 agreements from 2.
Nice.
Centre back partnership. I would like you to give me both of your centre backs.
So I personally struggled with one of them. I'll get the more obvious one out of the way. That is William Saliba, the Frenchman from Arsenal, second Arsenal defender in this team. However, the second one, I've gone for the Interman himself, Alessandro Bastoni. I mean,
Shake my hand. Shake my hand. That is the 2.
That's
the correct answer.
I mean, I think there could be some debate about who else you could include in this.
Yes,
but
definitely. Yeah. Definitely. I feel like Pau Kubasi.
Great.
Right, honourable mention, because I think he's been unbelievable this year.
That guy.
But I just can't put him in over any of them.
That guy, 5 years' time, one of the.
Oh, he'll be the best centre back in the world. He'll be the best centre back in the world.
He reminds me of Virgil van Dijk. His ball playing ability, He's incredible.
He's incredible. However, let me talk about these guys. I'll let you talk about Saliba.
So, Saliba scores goals from corners. One of the main reasons Arsenal are actually second in the Premier League, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I think people compare him too much with Gabriel Magalhaes, and if you ask me, I prefer Gabriel Magalhaes over
You
Saliba.
prefer Gabriel over Saliba? I'm a Saliba guy.
I'm a Gabriel Magalhaes fan.
Rolls Royce Saliba.
Yeah, I mean he's injured obviously, so I couldn't.
Yeah, Gabby Maga is not in this because he will not be playing in the semi-finals.
Which is a bit unfortunate for Arsenal, if you ask me.
Yeah, but when you talk about Saliba, right? Let's talk about his ball playing, how calm he is at the back. He's a big lad as well, right? And he looks so comfortable, right? He reminds me, he is a Virgil van Dijk regen. He reminds me of someone like Rio Ferdinand. He doesn't need to go into the tackles because he is so, like, when you go into a battle with him, you're almost scared of him. You see him and you want to back out. That's the presence that William Saliba is, and he's so young already.
Yeah.
And then the other
people forget that. People forget how young he is. Like, he's got time.
He's worth 100 million plus.
He's
already.
got time.
But the other centre back, this is who I want to talk about. Alessandro Bastoni.
Yes.
This man, oh my God, what a player. What a player. He is everything for this Inter team. He is everything. He's got his own position almost, because he plays like that left centre-back role, but he's so high up the pitch. In terms of the passing ability, off the charts. Yeah. So good. He's like at the back, so solid in everything, right? Winning his duels all the time. And he is one of the main reasons why Inter are where they are. Inter are a very defensive team, and he is at the heart of that. Inzaghi has coached this team so well, because on paper, I think you would say they're the weakest of the four on paper, but they play so well together.
That's important.
Bastoni, he has his own role in this team that I haven't seen from any centre-back. He plays such a different role to Paul Kubasi in the Barca team or Saliba in the Arsenal team. He's his own position, and he does it so well. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, as someone who doesn't watch Inter often, however, someone that does watch Italy very often, I can just see, I mean, Italy are all over the place.
Yeah,
we know that.
Absolute shock.
But I can see, obviously it's not hard to stand out when your defence line isn't that great. Yeah. But this man is just there. He plays like a Premier League player.
Oh,
he's calm, he's composed.
He's one of the best centre-backs in the world.
He will put in a challenge, and you will come out of that challenge injured if you go into it.
Oh, I love this guy so much.
He's a great player, and that's why.
That is our first
and we have agreed.
Left back, tap in, surely.
Yeah.
Are we going to go 5 for 5? Agreeing?
Yeah, bit annoyed at this player, kind of cooked Mo Salah, but Nuno Mendes.
Yeah, Nuno Mendes.
Personally, I think he's the best left back in the world.
I would agree with you. Yeah.
I think DiMarco's a close shout.
Yeah, but DiMarco's he's not a left back.
Yeah, exactly. He plays more.
He's playing left wing half the time, so I couldn't put him in.
Exactly.
We decided to do 4-3-3. If we were doing the Inter formation, it could have been slightly different. Nuno Mendes though, this guy. Up and down. He can do both.
That's one thing PSG have really. That's one.
Those
fullbacks, pacey, can attack and can defend.
Yeah,
we saw it in the PSG Liverpool game. Obviously,
we saw it in the Villa game.
I'm disappointed by the result, but Nuno Mendes was up and down the pitch, locking up Salah and still creating.
And then we saw him in the Villa game, right? The goals that he scored, right? Yeah, incredible. Just like two goals. Great player. Honestly, Nuno Mendes was an absolute lock. Yeah, now we go into the hard part.
This is where I struggled, I must say.
3.
I did struggle.
Give me your deepest lying midfielder.
So my deepest lying midfielder is Vitinha. I think he's his. Yes. I'd say his main position is more of a box to box, but when you look at it, I mean, I was checking some stats about him. 212 accurate passes across 2 legs. So that reminds me of a Rodri, just more attacking. Oh yeah. If you can do it defensively and in attack, how good are you?
In terms of a first phase midfielder, there is not many better in the world. Receiving the ball from the centre backs, turning and moving it up the pitch. His progressive passing, his control. When Vitinha's on the ball, you feel like you're in control of the game. He does not lose that ball, right? Yeah. And he has been so good for this PSG team. That midfield that PSG have is incredible, right? And Vitinha is at the heart and centre of it. Even for Portugal, right? Unreal. What a player this guy is, and he had to be in this team.
Yeah, one other thing. In the second leg against Aston Villa, this man messed up 3 passes out of the 150 he attempted. That equates to 147 accurate passes. Yeah. When do you see that? Almost never. He's
always looking for that ball. He always wants to be on the balls, always wants to be spreading it side to side, up and down.
And then you have people like saying, he plays in the Farmers League. He's proven it against the big teams.
The way he dictates the play. But who is joining him in the midfield? Because this is easy, guys.
I think it is as well.
Who have you gone with?
I've gone for one of my favourite players, personally. The Spaniard, Pedri.
This is a lot.
The way this guy dictates the game almost. It reminds me of an Iniesta. It reminds me of a Xavi. It brings back to those memories. Obviously, I was younger, but it brings me back to the time where just Barca were dominating that midfield.
He's the best centre. He's the best midfielder in the world. I've said it. He's the best midfielder in the world. I think he's so good.
That's a great take. I just feel like there are other players that could potentially be better. Vitinha we've spoken about.
Yeah, okay, but I personally think what this guy does, right? I think he's the most technical midfielder in the world, right? That's without question, and the most talented as well. You guys know how much I love like Camavinga. I love Camavinga. I honestly
talented players.
McAllister, I love all these guys, but Pedri, what he does, oh my god, he can do things that no other midfielders can do. Some of his passes, some of his line-splitting passes, the through balls into the wingers, who we're going to talk about hopefully later. I mean, just the way, and at such a young age, what he's already achieved in his career, this guy could win a Ballon d'Or. 100% can win a Ballon d'Or.
Of course, with, obviously the attack bias that we've had over the past couple of years. I think it will be difficult, but I think it's possible. Yeah,
but he's honestly, the type of person he's such a magician that he definitely could. But who is the third midfielder? Could this be the first disagreement?
You tell us.
Okay, I have gone with Nicolo Barella.
And we have agreed.
Again! We've agreed on everything.
Nicolo Barella. I think while I was making this team, the last midfielder was the last position I did because I was just not sure.
I was actually very sure on this.
I was really not sure. But then I was just thinking back at the games I've watched, the highlights I've seen, the stats I've looked at, and Barella just...
Do you want me to give you another take?
Go on.
He's the best player in Serie A. There we go.
I think that's a fair take,
there we go.
If you ask me.
Have that.
Obviously, there's...
Best player in Serie A.
Yeah. Some other players...
Yeah, obviously, I'm thinking straight away Rafael Leao jumps to mind.
Exactly.
Obviously, other members of this Inter team, maybe who we could talk about later. And Bastoni, who we've already mentioned. But I think this guy, in terms of what he does in the middle, like... He can do both sides of the game, attacking, defensive, control, right? He's a brilliant dictator of play, and he is, again, just like I talk about Bastoni being everything, Barella is literally the heart and soul of this Inter team, and when he's not there, they fall apart. They need Barella. He's the reason Inter are so good. That midfield, I mean, Hakan Çalhanoğlu as well has a fair shout to be in this team.
He is.
Other honourable mentions, obviously, Arsenal, Rice and Odegaard.
Rice just,
what a player. After those semi-final performances, definitely could have been here. But I think these two are just better players than him, but he was very close. Any other players who are honourable mentions?
No, you've kind of...
Fabian Ruiz, PSG, João Neves.
No, I do think... I mean, if we have honourable mentions, it can't be more than 2 or 3.
Yeah, Dani Olmo also. I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah, Declan Rice was close to being on your... At first, I initially had him, then I took him out, and then I struggled. Yeah, I was like...
I think he's the closest.
I think people right now are kind of... Not overrating, because he's a great player, but because of his free kicks, everyone thinks, he's all that.
Crazy, though.
They were crazy.
They were unbelievable.
That second one, you can't get more wins than that.
I'm sorry, against Courtois as well. And Courtois had no chance. No chance. That's unsavable, mate.
What a goal.
Right, the wingers.
The wingers. Now...
This has to be a tap-in.
The right winger was a tap-in for me.
Yeah.
The other two positions were a bit more difficult.
Okay, right wing, Lamine Yamal.
Right winger, Lamine Yamal.
Okay, do you want me to give you another hot take?
Wait up. Currently one of my favourite players in the world. I think... Yeah, give us your hot take.
I think he's the best player in the world.
Best player in the world?
Lamine Yamal. I think when everyone is playing at their best... Who is like, not who's the most consistent or whatever, who is actually the most talented or like the best player in the world right now, I'd have to answer Lamine Yamal. I think he's the most talented player we've seen since Neymar.
That is a great shout.
I think he's honestly, I love Neymar. I think Neymar's amazing. But Lamine Yamal, the things he does, oh my god! Was it in that Benfica game where he like the assist for Rafinha, where it looks like he scuffed it, but he knows exactly what he's doing there. He gets it, and Rafinha's there to meet it at the far post. The things like he's mastered that cutting on his left. Finesse top corner. The way Saka does it. The way Foden has done it in the past. Yamal has mastered that. 1v1 dribbler. Probably the best in the world.
At 17 years of age. Like, how is this man doing it?
This guy is unreal. Oh my god, I love you. And Yamal was a lock. I'm sorry. Saka. We have to talk about Saka. Right? Yeah. Because he's very hard done by to not be in this team. But Yamal is in there and I think Yamal is better.
Yeah.
But Saka, for what he's done for Arsenal and for how much of a talent he is, I think he's very unlucky to not be in this team.
I just think Yamal. I mean,
it's Yamal, man.
I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I enjoy watching the beautiful game.
Oh, and He wants skill.
It's the definition. That's why Ronaldinho is my favorite player of all time. The way he did his moves, it just brings me back to those times that I was not born in.
Skills. We want to see the players do that.
He plays so naturally. He just plays what comes to mind, and that's what I love about him. He's not overthinking moves.
And in a world of robotic wingers, in a world of wingers where they just go back, where they just like Pep Guardiola style wingers, where they don't really want to take on their man, create chances. Yamal is not scared of anything, and he will go into that straight away.
Mo Salah, he's more of a cut in, play it,
he's an inside forward.
Pass. He's an inside forward.
Yamal's a winger.
He scores. He gets assists. Yamal creates chances.
Yamal is a true winger. He is like, he's an old school winger. You mentioned Ronaldinho. Yamal is that.
Exactly.
Yamal is that. He's an old school winger, but his numbers are also really, really impressive
for his age.
For 17, that was a lot.
Do you reckon this man reaches close to Messi, Ronaldo?
He definitely can. He definitely can. I don't think he'll reach the Messi level, but he definitely can. He's got the talent to be up there. But now, who's the left winger? Who is on the opposite side?
The opposite side I've gone for is Rafinha. I've gone for his partner.
We agree again.
I've gone for his partner in crime. Could this be an 11 for 11 team?
This would be unbelievable. No, Rafinha
is.
Can you talk about Rafinha for a bit?
Same thing with Yamal. Just plays. He just plays. He doesn't care about what happens next. He does what he wants.
Yeah.
And he scores. He gets assists. He does tricks, flair, everything you want in a winger. He's got it. And this season especially, he's in Ballon d'Or talks.
Oh yeah. And imagine you said that a year ago when Barca fans wanted him out when they wanted to sign Nico Williams.
If we had this conversation 1 year ago with these exact 4 teams, I don't think
no one would have thought that.
Talks about
he was
Rafinha.
Always a great player, but no one would have thought he would reach these levels.
Yeah.
And what he's done this season, the numbers he's putting up, the connection with Yamal right on the wings, that front three that Barcelona have, potentially a striker that we could mention later. The team, like Rafinha this season. The revival under Hansi Flick, right? The big games that he scored in, right? He scored big goals, Champions League top goal scorer, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, the numbers that he's putting up as well, right? The Benfica games that I talked about, he had an absolute masterclass in those games, right? The Clásicos as well, how well he's played in those.
Oh, the Clásicos.
Just crazy.
Crazy,
And these wingers were a lock for me. And I would like to mention, however, like we mentioned Saka, I'd like to mention Désiré Doué. This guy...
Same exact thing. Plays.
Like we said, Yamal, most technical. Doué is one of the most technical players in football, and he also has potential to reach Ballon d'Or levels. This guy is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he cooked Liverpool.
Yeah, I've got one more honourable mention. The reason I didn't include him is because we're using this as an overall season.
Yeah.
But in the Champions League by itself, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia.
Yeah, but he's also only joined PSG in January.
Exactly.
So we couldn't put him in.
But did you see that goal where he cuts in and ball rolls past the player?
He's crazy. He's very good.
He is a great player as well. And
this is it. This is it.
The final position.
Is this going to be 11 for 11?
At the same time.
Let's say it on 3, okay?
Alright.
1, 2, 3. Dembele.
And we have gone 11 for 11, ladies
I can't believe it. Dembele.
We have just gone 11 for 11.
That is it. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean,
same with Rafinha. Ballon d'Or talks.
This is obvious.
Numbers have been there. The skills have been there. Everything's been there for him this year.
This has been so difficult to decide. Because I'm going to talk about the other 2 options first that I thought about. Lewandowski.
Yes.
What a revival he's had. Because last season I thought he was finished.
Yeah.
Now he's in Pichichi conversation. Right, he's in La Liga top goal scorers.
Yeah, I think the reason why people, personally, from what I've heard, people are undermining. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Something like that. About Lewandowski, just because he's in the shadow of Rafinha and Yamal this year.
Yeah,
because they are just falling out.
Yeah, he is.
But then if you take a closer look, who's the one scoring the goals? Who's the one finishing those chances? It's Lewandowski.
Yeah. He's great. He's had a fantastic season. The Clásicos, again, that I've mentioned, the big games. Lewandowski's a fantastic player. And the other man, Lautaro Martinez, who has stepped it up this year. This year, Lautaro Martinez is scary. And he does it, he's doing it in the big games as well. Yeah. That goal against Bayern Munich in the first leg is out of this world.
The technique,
the finish, right? very few players would even think about trying to finish like that.
Yeah.
And even less could execute it, right?
Yeah.
The way he did that, and that was always a thing against Lautaro. He doesn't do it in the big games. For
Yeah.
Argentina, we've seen it. He's not a big game player. This season, he has shown you he is capable of doing that. He's the top goal
And
scorer in Serie A as well.
I really hope. I mean, I'm half Argentinian, so I really hope we bring
World
him
Cup.
up. We call him up for.
Yeah, but he's got competition because
Julian
Julian
Alvarez
Alvarez
has
has
been
had
great
a
as
season
well.
as well. He's not in the Champions League anymore, so we can't
So we
mention
can't
him.
talk about him.
But Dembele,
What?
why is he in this team?
I mean, I as well. Like I said earlier, I'm not the biggest PSG watcher, of course, but every time I've seen this player play, he has shown me something.
Yeah.
This guy will have 3 successful dribbles per 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a bit exaggeration. But, like, for example, when he was playing against Andy Robertson, of course, it's a bit Finch. Every single time he got past him.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's got the pace to get past players. He's got the skill to get past players.
He's
He's
revival.
deadly. He is deadly.
He is. Like, I am a very big PSG watcher because I love this team that they have. It's
Yeah.
full of so much quality, and I think they could definitely go on and win the Champions League this year.
That is
and his revival is one of the main
take.
reasons. Since 2025, he's had the most goal contributions across Europe.
Yes.
He's been unbelievable. The pace, we've always known about him. The talent, the technique, the flair. He's always had this, but now he's showing consistency, and he's doing it on a weekly basis. And he can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can play up front. He can do whatever he wants. We put him up front in this team because I think PSG are not the same without him. And he is the reason why PSG have turned it up this year under Luis Enrique. And he is that guy.
I mean,
and he could not be not in this team.
All of PSG's team this year has been incredible. I mean, I can't name you one player except maybe Donnarumma, who hasn't been standout.
They've been so good. Pacho at centre-back, we didn't even mention. The season he's had, right? Next to Marquinhos. Fantastic.
Came from Frankfurt and proved that he could do it.
The only thing with this striker position is I really did want to put Lautaro in. I really enjoyed watching him.
I initially had him because personally I think Yamal and Rafinha as wingers are better than Dembele.
I think they're locked.
But then I realised Dembele can play striker.
Yeah.
I
think based off this season,
I couldn't not include Dembele.
Locks.
He has been an incredible player. He has shown the world what he can actually do. I mean, will he keep this up next season? We don't know.
See.
Will he win the Ballon d'Or? Potentially.
Ooh, if PSG win the Champions League, he could be a front runner for the Ballon d'Or.
That is true.
He's been so good, and that is a full 11 agreed.
That concludes our.
That's impressive. Thank you very much, guys, for watching till the end. Subscribe for more. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below,
and
we'll
stay tuned for the video coming soon.